What if your business wasn't just a way for you to make money, but the exact thing that forces you to become the person that you're meant to be? Because when you build something from scratch, you stop asking what if and you start answering it. This video isn't about hacks or business trends, it's about transformation. I want to share 3 real reasons why starting a business will change your life. If you've ever had the desire to start something, this video is for you. Reason number 1 is starting a business forces you to grow. It's easy to think that building a business is learning new skills, and in a lot of ways it is, but the bigger payoff is how much you're learning about yourself. A perfect example is what I'm doing right here. Talking in front of the camera has been one of the most painful things that I've ever tried to do, and I've put hours into practicing talking in front of a camera, and it's still not easy. This is something that is extremely hard and uncomfortable with a reason behind it. So if I didn't have a reason, if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't choose to put myself through this because it's not easy. But it forces me to grow in ways that I want to and in ways that I wouldn't be willing to do for myself otherwise. In my opinion and in my experience, building a business is the truest form of self-development. It will show you all of your strengths and all of your weaknesses, and whether or not you want it, it will humble you so much to the point to where you're willing to spend hours and hours on a video that you know is only going to get 10 views. But that's one of the beautiful things about it, is you start to realize that it's not just about the views and it's not about all the things that you thought it might have been about. There's so much more value and purpose behind everything that you do. Now, don't get me wrong, you can push yourself in many ways without building a business, but most people never change because they're never forced to. But just stepping into a business, starting a business, trying to build a business will force you to grow and show you weaknesses you never thought that you had. Reason number 2, and one of the things that makes it far more rewarding, is it opens doors that you never thought possible. You have opportunities you wouldn't have ever had, you meet people you wouldn't have ever met, and you live a version of your life that you never would have been able to have lived. Starting out, you think that success is linear, but it's not. What usually happens is you put the work in for a long time without seeing any fruits, and then you meet somebody who connects you with someone who changes your life. A lot of times, a one-off project leads to a client that you have for years. One client leads to a collaboration that would never have started if you didn't just start. Something that you learn pretty quickly is that the world doesn't open unless you have something to offer. Business gives you opportunities not just to make money, but to earn trust, to build relationships, and to be in rooms you would have never been in. A personal example that I have with this, and something that I'll never forget, is when I was invited to come film the launch event for the brand new flagship Lamborghini Revuelto. This was a total dream for me for many reasons. First, I've loved supercars since I was a young kid, and now I was put in a situation where I was in the room with some of the most iconic Lamborghinis of all time in an airplane hangar, with some of the most well-known and wealthy people in Utah and surrounding states. I was able to have personal conversations with them and ask them things that I never would have had the chance to ask, and get personal insights from people who have actually done it. To this day, I still have a handful of contacts in my phone from that event, to people who trust me and to people who want to help me when I come to them with an issue. Those opportunities that you want are already out there, but building a business gives them a reason to come and find you. And reason number 3 is that it gives you purpose. One of the scariest questions that you can ask yourself is what if? Most people not only go through life, but through their day-to-day having to ask themselves the haunting question of what if. At the very least, even if you fail, when you build something, you don't have to ask what if. You have proof that you gave it a shot, and if it didn't work out, you at least don't have to ask yourself what would have happened if you tried. Even if you don't know where you're going, business gives you a sense of direction, and eventually you'll find where you do want to go, and until you find that, you can enjoy the ride. I hope that if anything, what you got from this is that you build a business to find some of your strengths and weaknesses and have a much higher chance of impacting many lives that you wouldn't have. I'm not saying that building a business is easy, because it's not. A lot of times it's lonely. Most of the time it's really, really stressful. You're trying to figure out what you need to do next. But the nice thing is that every single day, you know that you need to do something and you hold yourself accountable to that thing. You hear all the time about the stories of the athletes and the people who win the lotteries, who make millions of dollars, and within months or years it's gone. Building a business and understanding what it takes to get to that point gives you a lot more opportunity to grow in those ways you wouldn't have otherwise grown. Now, I really don't think that entrepreneurship is for everybody. I don't think that building a business is for everybody. But I do think that if you're ever going to ask yourself what if, then it might be for you. So if you've been considering building a business, you don't have to go all in. You don't have to quit your day job. You can just try something on the side. And if you let that become your new hobby and actually give it a chance, you'll see doors open that you never thought possible. And a whole new future in life could be right on the other side of that decision. So my invitation to you is to just make the choice right now, whether or not it's something you're going to do, and to tell yourself when you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if it's in 6 months. It doesn't matter if it's in a year. It doesn't matter if it's right now. What matters is that once you make that commitment to yourself, that you honor it, and then you go forward with it when that time comes. Hope this has been somewhat insightful for you guys. If it has been, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.